For a truly inclusive education to happen, we need not only to mandate that it happen and set protocols for it, we also need to listen to those we're trying to include. And I'm delighted with this session that we can listen to students and parents who have experienced what it means to live with disability in life, in the classroom, in their progress in the world. So I want to start off by inviting someone very unique, a poet and a disability advocate who is speaking for but also representing the growing international community of students with special needs. Her name is Zen Kashyap. She is a class 10 student at the VASANT Valley School. She's also an international award-winning poet, and she is going to read a poem today.
Okay. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I consider it a huge honor and a privilege to be here amongst all of you today. As Professor Harris just said, my name is Zen, and I'm a usual teenager next door who loves to Netflix and chill. I'm a huge fan of the show Money Heist, and I've watched the show about a gazillion times. I also enjoy public speaking, learning new languages, and of course, annoying my younger brother is a given. Despite coming from relative privilege and having been lucky enough to be part of an all-inclusive school like VASANT Valley, throughout my young life, I have witnessed firsthand the challenges that come with disability. Through Shakti Foundation, a not-for-profit run by my father that works on early intervention and rehabilitation of children with special needs, I have had a tremendous amount of exposure to issues faced by my tribe. Based on what I have experienced, I feel that we as a society neither understand nor do enough about disability and differentness for many reasons. Despite the growing incidence of disability worldwide, we are unwilling to accept the fact that these issues exist. It is some kind of pervasive denial syndrome. If we accept these issues due to societal taboos or associated stigmas, we refrain from talking about them. So unfortunately, in the absence of even acknowledgement, the advocacy and action that is needed to address this supporting societal infrastructure and legislative action is certainly a long way off. So to break this vicious cycle, open dialogue and forums led by stalwarts like Ashoka University are the key. In the arts, whether music, poetry, or writing, are all ways to spread the message in bite-sized, easily digestible pieces to the masses. Also, I feel that when it comes to normalizing differentness, it is imperative that we need to start sensitizing and normalizing differentness early in the life of children. So before I begin my poem, I'm just going to give you a little bit of background about what it is and why I decided to write it. So I participated in a poetry writing competition in my school, and we were asked to write a poem on the topic of disability. It struck me then that a topic so simple was actually so profound. As I contextualized it in what it meant to me, I thought about how through generations of conditioning, we as a society have arrived at a rampantly prevalent definition of what is normal and what is not. However, in doing so, we often ignore the power that differentness bestows upon us. If we aspire to move from being good to being great, we must actually celebrate our imperfections. As a first step, we must accept the fact that every one of us is unique in a very special way. The single most important quality to do so is empathy. And we must hone that and make it our collective superpower. Once we do so, we'll be able to take the next step towards normalizing and thereby destigmatizing differentness. My poem, L'Extraordinaire, is an ode to exactly that, celebrating of differentness and embracing our imperfections to be the best possible versions of ourselves. I hope you enjoy my recitation and help me spread the sunshine on such an important topic. L'Extraordinaire. What is disability? What does differentness mean? I looked up the internet for some insights to glean. A societal imposition on those who to normal don't conform. A label, a pronouncement, in my opinion, way too strong. In one swoop, it just calls out how a person doesn't fit, ousting from mainstream and a right at the table to sit. These sweeping generalizations are senseless at best. We should put this labeling once and for all to rest. The greatest minds of yesteryears had disabilities galore. Those fueled their very passions and led them to do more. Helen Keller, Frida Kahlo, Einstein, and Stephen Hawking too. Bocelli, Beethoven, and Van Gogh, just to name a few. Every one of these geniuses had crippling special needs, yet their legacies live on through generations for all to see. Sometimes, well-meaning people don't know how to react. With differently abled people, they're just thrown off track. Sometimes they show pity and sometimes sympathize. They do it out of kindness and don't really realize. No matter how different people may look or seem or sound, inclusion through act and deed are needed on the ground. Rather than do that look and look away kind of glance. Smile, be your genuine self, make kindness your stance. Empathy is a superpower the world needs most today. For every single person is unique in a very special way. Sometimes disabilities are very visible for all the world to see, but invisible ones are just as terrible. I'm sure you'll all agree. Everyone is fighting a battle of which you have no clue, and their mighty problems might be unknown after you. So let us celebrate our fellow humans, irrespective of their state, appreciate all differences, and move from being good to being great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zen. That was absolutely beautiful. And one line in particular stands out for me. Empathy is a superpower. And it should be a superpower not just for an elite few, but for all of us. We're hoping that today's session will increase the acquisition skills for that superpower, because we'll be listening to some other people who have been living with disability in a variety